China's direct challenge to Elon Musk's Starlink and GalaxySpace Trounce SpaceX in satellite internet business. China's Long March 2C rocket carrying 7 satellites lifted off on March 5. Of them, 6 satellites were developed by private Chinese firm GalaxySpace with the aim of forming an experimental network for low Earth orbit LEO broadband communication. A move seen as direct competition with SpaceX's Starlink. F-22 Raptor, why world's best fighter jets have become talk of the town. Amidst Russian invasion of Ukraine, this was Beijing's 5th launch of the year, with the China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation (CASC) aiming for more than 50 launches in 2022. Today's launch proved that China has the capability to build satellite internet constellation at large scale, which includes the ability to mass-produce satellites at low cost as well as to operate in a network. The GalaxySpace's co-founder Chang Ming told state-owned CGTN. Together with the company's first satellite, which was placed into orbit 2 years ago, these 6 will form a testing network that is expected to provide uninterrupted broadband communication services for more than 30 minutes at a time. The 6 satellites are designated GS2, GSAP-01, O2 and O3, and GS2BP-01 and O2 in the experimental network has been nicknamed Mini Spider Constellation. Each satellite has a mass of 190 kg and is capable of data speeds of 40 gigabits per second, as per the company's claims. The ground data processing system is developed by Beijing Foursquare's Technology, a satellite data analysis company. GalaxySpace vs SpaceX. GalaxySpace is a Beijing-based company that makes small telecommunication satellites. It was founded in 2016 with plans to establish a private constellation of 1,000 LEO satellites that would compete with SpaceX's Starlink. The company claims that its factory in Nantong can produce 300 to 500 satellites per year. In 2020, Shi Xiaofei, founder and CEO of the company, said that his cheap broadband communication satellites will shorten the gap between China's and America's satellite mass production capabilities within 2 years. That said, GalaxySpace has a long way to go in order to catch up with Starlink, which already has 2,000 satellites in the orbit, with plans underway to launch an additional 12,000 to become the world's largest satellite internet constellation. Meanwhile, GalaxySpace distinguishes itself with promises of providing the first constellation that will deliver 5G connectivity to consumers, potentially offering download speeds of over 500 megabits per second and at least 80 megabits per second under the worst possible weather conditions. Whereas Starlink can only offer speeds of 110 megabits per second for consumer use. However, even if the company realizes its vision, it will still not be able to compete with Starlink's plans to have 12,000 LEO satellites, and perhaps therefore it is possible that GalaxySpace's planned private constellation will be absorbed as part of Chinese government plans for national broadband constellation dubbed Gawang. As Eurasian Times has reported earlier, Gawang will be a mega constellation of 13,000 satellites that will be incorporated and coordinated by a communications base station in Chongqing. China's spectrum allocation filings submitted to the International Telecommunication Union (ITU) in September last year revealed plans for a LEO constellation of 12,992 satellites with possible sub-constellations ranging from 500–1,145 km in altitude with inclinations between 30 to 85 degrees. These will operate across a range of frequency bands. 5G communication. In a related development, China's State Administration of Science, Technology and Industry for National Defense (SASTIND) has called for orderly development of small satellites to provide surveillance over much of the Earth and strengthen internet facilities with the aim of improving 5G and terrestrial communications for rural areas. Also, Beijing can extend the coverage of these services to countries covered under its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, thus competing with SpaceX's Starlink. Satellite internet constellations can also improve a country's C4ISR capabilities for its armed forces. For example, in the ongoing Ukraine crisis, Starlink terminals supplied by SpaceX have restored communications in those parts of the country where internet or phone connection had stopped following the shelling by Russian troops. Starlink was the only non-Russian communication system still working in some parts of Ukraine in the wake of Russia's invasion, claimed SpaceX founder Elon Musk. Chinese military experts have also drawn attention to the military potential of the satellite internet constellations and highlighted the gap between China and the US, urging the government to keep track of other countries' LEO satellite internet progress that could be leveraged by foreign militaries to have battlefield advantage. Another matter of concern for Chinese analysts is the scarcity of frequency bands and orbital slots for satellites to operate, which they think are being quickly acquired by other countries. A viable LEO satellite internet capability could enhance the speed and coverage of Chinese military communications in distant or sparsely populated theaters, particularly in support of aircraft or ships operating outside the first island chain. In a similar vein, the US is racing to establish the next generation military communications network based on satellite internet capability. Last month, the US Space Development Agency awarded a $1.8 billion contract for 126 optically interconnected space vehicles (SV) that should be ready for launch by 2024.